Right, hi everybody. I am Taschi, or Tash, most people know me as, and I am going to do a live tarot reading today, and I assume because you are watching that you know a bit about what I do. If not, I'm going to attempt to give you some insights. So I'm trying to adjust this. I've never done a live before, and I'm not sure how I'm even going to lay out the cards because it's difficult. I also want to add that those of you that haven't seen me in person for a while, I am still struggling with my TSW, topical steroid withdrawal. Not much I can do about it. I don't want it to hold me back anymore. So I'm just going to jump in and do a reading. Plus I've been challenged to do this by my coach, the lovely Lauren Becker. If you want a coach who's going to change your life, I highly recommend her. But anyway, I'm going to pull some cards and see if this message connects with anyone. Sorry about my glasses glare, but this is the best place for me to sit. Right, I am going to shuffle the cards. First of all, I normally give them a knock, blow on them, ask them to be cleared, and ask for my guides to come in and help me. Give somebody who needs to hear a message the message. And sometimes, if I'm working with the client, I'll ask them their guides to come in as well, and for me to connect to their heart. That seems to be the best way to do it. Yeah, so what I do, my hands are really not that good, so I don't want to show them too much, but I kind of want to get shuffling. I have a tendency to hold my breath. I wonder who else has that tendency out there, because I feel it's quite common among women apparently. I also had about, I'd say, 1 hour's sleep last night, and I was not expecting that when I signed up to do this live, so hopefully my brain plays along. Now what I do with these cards, these are the Everyday Tarot deck by Biddy Tarot, by the way. I like these because they're quite minimalist. They're just two colour, and they fit in your hand really well, and they seem to work for me. I don't know. I actually been using an app called the Witch's Tarot app, and I want to get them in person because I love the cards. But what I do is I use these cards in person, and then I use the app to lay them out and look at both the pictures, because the pictures are what tells the story, and that's what tarot's all about. You'll probably figure that out in a minute. Right. So what I do, and everybody does this differently, and like there's a million ways to do it. Ugh, sweating. This is what happens when I do a reading every time. Sweating. Right. I shuffle the cards until sometimes one will fly out or turn over. I don't like that. If one flies out, I normally look at it and I take it as an accent card, but I normally put it back in. I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but that's what I do, because you would not believe the amount of times that you put one back and it comes out again in the reading. That happens like almost every time without a lie. I don't know. What I like to do is wait for one to jump. No. Like one will literally jump from the bottom to the top type of thing, and that's when I know to stop, and I've just given up second guessing it. every reading I've done that's been successful, well, they all have been quite successful actually, which was like mind blowing. That's what I do. I wait for the jumping one. A lot more energy right now than I thought that I would. No, that wasn't a jump. Sometimes it takes a while, and I always think that's because the spirit has a very specific message that they want to give, and there's, what, 78 cards in the tarot deck. See, the Lovers fell out. Might be a romance reading. Two of Cups, sorry. The Two of Cups is like the Lovers light, because there's the major arcana and there's the minor arcana. And the major arcana deals with the major spiritual themes of life, like the tower moments and like the big things that are going to happen. And then there's the minors, and that might be something more practical, like a business relationship, or you might meet a soulmate versus like some big love of your life type deal. Anyway, that fell out, and I remember that. Put it back in. I just put that back in without thinking. So, well, it's done now. I have only done a couple of these over the phone, so like I might, if I go blank, it's because I normally piece the story together in my head. I don't normally speak anything out loud. I sit there and I look at them and I take them in, and then I just get a feeling of what the story is, and it's all by feeling with me. I'm not doing reversals today either, because that's just going to screw me up. There's too much brain power. I'm going to knock these again, because I think that I'm quite hypo right now, energy-wise, and that might be screwing up the message. Come on, I want to jump up. Sometimes this is what happens. This card has come up 3 times. This Ace of Pentacles card. Alright, you can stay out. The Ace of Pentacles, that is like, if you want to start a business, this is the card that you want, because Pentacles are all about coin, practical, earth. This is a sign. Start that business. Strength card just came up again as well. Turn that off. Right. Come on, don't fail me now. Oh. The Knight of Wands. Alright. Maybe this isn't a new... I feel like maybe this isn't a new business. Maybe this is a new relationship, but it's based on earthly principles. Like, it's more grounded. It's not like a big spiritual thing. Because there's this Knight of Wands just came out. The Knight of Wands, he's a bit of a player. He's a really gung-ho type of a person, like look before he leaps type of a guy. No, is that right? Look before he leaps? Or doesn't look, I don't know. Just charges in. That's what this guy does. So maybe somebody out there is dealing with the player, or is having some trouble with a player, I don't know. Like, you don't want it to be true. You want it to be long lasting, but in the back of your mind, you want it to be something new and something grounded in reality, but it might not be, is what I'm saying. So if you're wondering about that guy that you just met on the weekend, I'm going to say, player. Maybe I'll just wait for them to fall out like that. Maybe this is how this is going to go. Oh, this is a pregnancy card, so you want to watch out for that one as well. I want to lay out a little story, so I'm going to have to get these jumping. Come on, Christ. Yay, yay. I'm going to split them in a minute, which sometimes I do. Because, well, I can tell you about that actually. 1, 2, 3. You're not going to jump. Right, I'm going to split you right here. And splitting into 3 piles, normally, you can't see. And then I am a clairsentient person. That means I go by feeling, or I just know things. And if I'm going to pick one of these piles, then I literally go from left to right. 1, 2, and I can't speak the word 3. That means 2 is the pile, so 2 is going to go on the top. Sorry about stuck. Ay, ay, ay. Come on, card. That's on the bottom. And then, I'm just going to lay these. I'm going to lay out 4 cards. So we've got the Chariot. Which way are you going to go? We've got the 5 of Wands. This might be a contentious relationship, or other people might not like you. Other people might not like you with this person. It might cause some conflict, and so you're going to be in 2 minds. The Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is like a bit of he's like a learner. He's a student. So if you go ahead with this, then you might learn a lot. That's what I'm going to say. The King of Wands, that's interesting because the Knight of Wands came out. Did I show you that? I can't remember. The King of Wands. The King of Wands is also a passion card. So we've got the Knight of Wands. We've got the 5 of Wands. I'm going to lay these out properly in front of me. Sorry, you can't see them. The Knight of Wands, and then the King of Wands. And I'm about numerology. I don't. Yes, people get into astrology with tarot, but it's not really my thing. I just don't really connect with it. Maybe down the line I'm going to have to, but I always look at the numbers. And we've started with an ace, which is like 1, and then we've ended up with the King of Wands. The Knight of Wands is towards the beginning, as the second card. The Knight is obviously lower than the King, right? So to me, this little reading is I still get that player meeting. What day is it? Thursday. So by now you're probably going on a date like tonight, or you're going on the date tomorrow, and you're not sure about this guy. I mean, you're probably a very that's the Empress card, of course. You're probably an earthy type person, a mothering person, and you're looking right at this Knight, because they quite often do this. It's so hard to pick these up. They quite often do things like, is that going to work? No, it's backwards. She's looking at the Knight if I lay them down, right? That's her energy is towards the Knight, and he's like running away. He's like, oh, what else is over here? Towards this ace. So be careful of that if you're a natural nurturer, because this guy just doesn't know what he wants, like, at all. He's going to go for this shiny coin, which is right next to him. Shiny, shiny, shiny. And this chariot in the middle is quite interesting because I've laid out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. And 1, 2, 3. Well, the middle card is the chariot. And the chariot is the number 7, which is in numerology a spiritual number. That's, you sort of meet your maker if there's a 9-year cycle, and if you're in year number 7, you're about to meet your maker spiritually. And then when you've learned those lessons, the next year is the 8, that's the manifestation year. Yes, so the chariot, let me hold on to this, see it properly on this little table. The chariot is duality as well. So maybe that's that dual personality. Maybe he has that dual personality because he is looking at the night and the progression. These are the little things that you sort of have to think about. So it's probably quite exciting. I mean, Chariot's quite an exciting card, as there's no doubt, but there's that dual personality, I don't know. And then there's this 5 of Wands, this conflict card. I mean, that says it all to me, that you're going to be conflicted, but I feel like other people will be like, hello, player, he's a player. And then the Page of Swords, well, if this is, you know, the beginning of the journey and this is near the end, after the conflict, I think you might listen to your friends. I mean, I would now. I wouldn't have done when I was younger, so it probably depends how old you are. Like, nobody listens if they really like somebody at the end of the day, very rarely. He might come across as quite intelligent and quite intelligent, quite a thinker. So you might not think that he is that type of guy, but just because he doesn't look like a player doesn't mean he doesn't know, like it doesn't mean that he knows what he wants. In my experience, they come in all shapes and sizes, these guys that don't know what they want. And you're the Earth Mother, so you're quite grounded, and I feel like that you do know what you want, but you've just got this codependency problem where you want to help other people to sort of help yourself. That's codependency. You want to help other people as a way of healing yourself, and that's like, if you're doing that, you need to, spirituality 101, you need to look at that. And because the guy that you're looking at will be the narcissist. There's the narcissist and the codependent go together. You can ask my friend, very good friend Ra, about that. She knows all about that, and so do I. Unfortunately, we've all been there. Yeah, so just because he seems like he knows the way of the world, it doesn't mean that he's healed, and it doesn't mean that he knows what he wants. Now the last card is the King of Wands, and I feel like if you've done the work and you've been on this little journey, and these little journeys might be a week or it might be a year, but I think by keeping your wits about you and you know, listening to this message that I'm imparting, that you will come to realize that you don't want this knight, you want the King of Wands. The King of Wands is he's very passionate. Let me read my little book, because sometimes I still have to look at the book. Just out of curiosity, because he's a passionate guy, but how stable is he? That's what I wanted to look up. each king has different traits. He's the visionary, the leader, charismatic. He plays the social game, but he's the leader type. He's not the knight, which in this little book is a bit too confident and a bit too cocksure, to use that word. Yeah, the King of Wands, I mean, the King of Pentacles, he's a very stable one. He's the very sensible one. He's the family guy. If you want that type of a guy, that's the one you go for. That's the one you want to come up in a reading. But if you want that passion and you want that guy that everybody looks at when you go into the room, then that is the King of Wands. That I feel like whoever I'm talking to is attracted to that type of personality. And I mean, I can't talk, that's me in a nutshell. I like that guy. But you have to be careful that they are at that stage of life. Like a knight is like 20s and the king is like 30s plus. So they've got that maturity there. But you'd really, I would take a look at any patterns that you have to see if that's really going to be good in the long run, put it that way. Just out of curiosity, there's one last card, the Ace of Cups. On the bottom, I like to look on the bottom sometimes. The Ace of Cups is, well, it's sort of a new idea, and cups are about emotions. So this new idea that the learning that you take from maybe the situation you can apply. This is best case scenario, by the way. This is what, if there's somebody out there I'm speaking to, this is what you would do in an ideal situation if you are wanting to learn and grow and break a pattern, is to look at these red flags, like people not liking him, being a bit of a split personality, doing one thing, saying another. Am I going this way or that way? Like literally split down the middle like the chariot, which way is it going to get pulled? Then you have to, and if you get all these red flags, I mean, and you don't listen, there's some beliefs there that you're not looking at. And as a coach, that's sort of something that I look at as well. I can't help myself. I'm all about self-improvement and empowering people and all the rest of it. So if I feel like there's something like a codependency pattern come up in the cards that your higher self or the highest version of yourself thinks that you should look at in order to end up at in the best case scenario, then I'm going to say something about it, because I don't sugarcoat things. I don't like it when people sugarcoat things with me. I try to do it in a loving way. Doesn't always... No, I actually have quite good luck with that. I feel like I'm pretty good at that. Telling people things in a loving way and then having them receive it. That's a huge element of my readings. If you're going to get a reading from me, like it's normal, I wrote one today, it was 1,000 words, because there's a lot of coaching elements in there, because she clearly wasn't that into that spiritual side yet. That wasn't where she was at, but she was interested in it, and her higher self was like, yeah, get more into it. But yeah, so that I include a lot of messages like that. Like when I say messages, I'm not hearing messages. I'm not sitting there and having somebody talk into my ear and tell me the story. I just will lay out the cards and they just tell me a story, and I just know and I feel that that is the right story to tell, the right thing that somebody needs to hear. I just get it and go, oh, okay, I get it. Because when you first lay out the cards, sometimes I'm like, what the fuck do these even mean? I have no idea. This card doesn't look like it goes with that card. But if you sit down and take a breath, I normally start with 3 across the top, which is so, and then middle and the end. So it's like a past, present, future type situation, and that little spread that I just made up. I call it the circle of life because I can. I don't know. It's the spread that works for me, and and whatever. But it tends to. It really does go in the past, present, future, and I could see the story, and they will start to make sense once I start doing what I've just done in my mind, and then I'll go, oh right, okay, I get it, I know what this is about, I know what they're trying to say. And when I'm actually writing it down, I will get a feeling. I'm trying to think of how to describe it. I don't even know how to describe it, but I just get a feeling about what is right, like a high feeling almost, I guess. Like when I'm writing it down, I'm like, yes, 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 that's what they need to hear. Yes, I can tell that that's the right thing to say. And the other day I was doing that, and she came back and she said it was so accurate. She burst into tears when she read it, and that's not the first time that's happened, because these messages are from Spirit, and they're messages that you might be ignoring and you need to hear. So when you hear them, and I know when they're right, then you get emotional. That's just how it goes. But anyway, I think that is enough for today. I might be doing these more often. I've been challenged to do these more often. When I got told yesterday that I had to do this today, I was like, doing what? I don't want to do that. Mostly because I don't feel that good these days. Like, actually, another thing I want to talk about, if anyone is interested, is Ascension symptoms. And I don't know if you even know what that is, but we are ascending as a race of people from 3D into 5D consciousness, which is sort of where free will, sovereignty, embodying like who you really are, come into it. But we are physically changing, and they're saying we're going from a carbon-based body to a crystalline body. In my case, I'm doing it in the middle of a skin illness anyway. So they're saying that some people have started to see glitter in their skin, appearing as a confirmation of the change to crystalline. And you can Google that on YouTube. That there's plenty of videos of these people showing the sparkly skin. It's not like Twilight, but it's very subtle when it's there. So I'm like shedding skin, shedding weight, shedding hair. Half my hair has fallen out. My eyebrows have fallen out. My eyelashes have fallen out. And my skin is very dry. It's shedding like a snake, because that seems to be one of the symptoms. Insomnia, if you get random headaches, if you feel dizzy all the time and get vertigo, if you just don't want to eat anymore, or you're going to eat a lot, which is my case. I end up fasting because of the way that my sleep patterns are, but I don't mean to. So when I eat, like I don't have an off switch anymore. I eat as much as I want. What else happens? I feel intense ringing. The Schumann resonance. The Schumann resonance is related to the ringing, and the ringing is, well, the earth resonates at 7 hertz, and people have been recording the earth's resonance as high as 100 hertz, 99 hertz. The other day was 63 hertz, and if it gets up to that, I do not sleep, because I get energy coursing through me, and I hear this intense ringing. It's not tinnitus, because I know what it's like to come back from the club, obviously, and have your ears ringing because you stood next to the frickin' bass stack all night. It's not that. It's a high-pitched noise, really loud, and it drives me mental. You can't ask you guys to turn it down, but that doesn't seem to work for me. So there's that's a symptom, and then I feel like my head is being microwaved a lot of the time, like pressure around my head, pressure on top of my head, pressure in my third eye, like somebody's poking me in it. Sometimes you get heart palpitations or heart flutters. A lot of people have really bad muscle aches and nerve pain and sore backs, sore necks, sore legs, sore joints. This is because our energy is being upgraded every day, and it is fucking things up. And it is it's part of where we're getting to. And 2020 is where we're getting to. By January 2020, they estimate that these changes should be in place, so that we will have not ascended quite, but we will have reached that stage where our bodies can handle the new energies that are coming in. And if you want to know more about that, like, there's so many videos and so many people, a lot of people do energy updates, and I could do that sort of thing, but it would be really boring, because I just get these feelings, so I'll just be saying I feel microwave today, as opposed to they're doing this because of this reason and that reason and that reason. I'm not quite there yet. One day I might be there where I can channel that sort of thing, but not so much at the moment. But anyway, let me know if any of this is helpful or it resonated with anybody, because I'd really like to know that. And let me know if you want me to do more of these types of readings. I mean, now I've done one. I don't really have any fear. I thought I might be really brain dead, but I've watched a lot of these videos on YouTube, and I think this happens. Something happens to you, you get energy, and you just, stuff comes out. So anyway, I hope you found that helpful, and I would love any comments below. Any questions about anything to do with Ascension or coaching, or even skin problems, like I'm living it. Let me know. I'd love to hear. Anyway, it's been nice, and I will see you guys later. Bye.